So one of the things that isn't talked about online about dopamine, because most people don't understand this. If you don't have a degree in neuroscience, like why the fuck would you? Dopamine is known as something that's called like a neuromodulator, and the reason why like people who have ADHD, for example, need a lot of dopamine in order to like feel something, it partially is because dopamine is a neuromodulator. And let me explain that. Like, this is very nerdy neuroscience, so just like let me explain that really quick. What the difference between something that like a neurotransmitter that is a neuromodulator versus one that is not is that it behaves differently in the fact that it's like it diffuses over like a wide area in the brain. It's like, I don't know, think of like an air freshener, and then like the molecules, they spread out and they diffuse and they take up space like into the space that's around them, and they start to spread out. And so if a part of the brain needs dopamine to function, then like just spraying a mist of dopamine onto it, like it makes it hard for it to function, as opposed to other neurotransmitters where it gets released and then it just goes to the neighboring neuron and it travels like 20, what is it, nanometers across a synapse and binds directly to the next neuron. Like it just goes, it's like fast, it's direct, it connects to the neighboring neuron. Whereas like dopamine comes out of a neuron and it fucking goes, it's like, we're gonna go wherever we are called. It's very like fluid and transient, and it's like, I don't know, it's like the hippie molecule of the brain. And so what happens with people who have ADHD is that there's a couple things that can occur that would make you need more dopamine. It's not that you're not releasing enough dopamine, it's just that whatever parts of your brain that need the dopamine aren't getting it. And it can happen in one of two ways. One, it could also be that you're not releasing enough dopamine, but that's rarely the case, so that's why I'm explaining this. One is there's these like, I think they're enzymes that come in like little Pac-Mans to the end of the neuron when it releases neurotransmitters. These little Pac-Mans come and they take the dopamine up back to the top of the neuron. They facilitate the process known as reuptake. Okay, and oftentimes people with ADHD have too many of those Pac-Mans that come and take it to the top of the neuron. And so what you like to think about the mist, the spraying of the dopamine. Imagine if a bunch of things then took some of those misty spray molecules back, and then there's even less that diffuse and go out into the parts of the brain that need it. Or something else that can happen is that the receptor sites on the neurons that need the dopamine have some kind of genetic mutation, making it hard for them to accept dopamine into that neuron. So what does this have to do with money and budgeting and finance? Well, the other thing that nobody talks about on the internet, because why would you if you don't understand dopamine, is that dopamine is involved in 6 different processes. Okay, working memory, movement, learning, attention, motivation, and reward. It's not black and white. So when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to money, when it comes to understanding finances, we have to understand there are different aspects that are involved in finances. You have something like, you have motivation, like what motivates you to behave with your money. Then you have reward. How are you rewarded to behave with your money? Then you have attention. What are the things that you give a fuck about that actually get you to like, learn something, which is another part of dopamine, but like, what are you paying attention to? Because if I'm coming up across your page, you're likely not getting videos that are about like the S&P 500 and like how to the index funds, and like you're not paying attention to those things. So attention is an aspect. And then you have learning, which I just talked about, which is behavior change. And learning is very much like, if there's more dopamine that's released, your brain will, pay attention to it and it will change its behavior as a result. If there's less dopamine, that's a behavior change in a different way. Then you have movement, which we could throw that one to the side. And then you have working memory, which is exactly what you're using to watch this video right now. And when you have too little dopamine, it's very hard for you to hold this video in your working memory, because other things are coming into your working memory right now. Like, oh, I got to pay that bill, and oh, that reminds me I got to take out the trash, and this friend texted me, I didn't text back. And that's working memory. And so when we talk about budgeting online, when we talk about money online, when we talk about dopamine or the neuroscience, what people don't realize is there's so many different aspects to this like problem. If you're having a spending problem, you might have to figure out, is it because I need to learn something? Is it because I'm paying attention to the wrong things? Is it because I'm motivated by certain things? Is it because I'm rewarded for certain things? And so the point of this video that I'd take like as a take-home assignment is go down that list. I'll put it in the description. Like, which aspect of money is actually the most difficult for you? And then does it have to do with working memory? Does it have to do with learning? Does it have to do with attention, motivation, or reward? And just start there. That's your project. If you can just alter that one aspect, it'll have a domino effect on the other aspects, and you'll start to see your finances change.